my YouTube friends, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a tag video. My friend Annette just posted today a tag video challenging herself and a few other people to see if you could only keep 10 palettes in your collection, what would they be? For the people in the makeup community, eyeshadow palettes are generally really hot items that a lot of us really kind of collect. I try to stay on top of that and try to declutter as much as possible, but I did pick out 10 eyeshadow palettes. I have them right here in front of me, and I'm going to go through all of these 10 that I picked out and kind of explain why if I had to declutter everything else, these are the 10 I would keep. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I have a variety of some that are more affordable, up to luxury prices, with most of them kind of falling in that medium range. I will go with the most expensive one first. This is from Natasha Nonna. This is the gold palette. So I picked this up. I gotta be careful with mine. One of my shadows is loose. So this is what my palette looks like. I love this palette so much. I recently had family pictures, and this is the palette I used to get ready for those pictures. Natasha Nonna is very expensive. I would consider her a luxury brand for sure. This palette, I will put a close-up picture, like a stock photo of what this looks like. But this palette does retail for $129. But I think it's pretty versatile, and I can get a lot of those neutral looks that I would ever want with this and still have that pop of blue in there. So this is the first one I decided to keep. I'm going to swatch a couple of my favorite shades out of here for you guys. So these are the three I'm going to put some swatches of. So these shadows are super gorgeous. That middle shade that I have on there is actually one of her like cream to powder shadows. I hope that's picking up. That is the first pick, is my Natasha Nonna gold palette. And then on the other spectrum, I'm going to go down to probably one of my most affordable ones, which is the Tribe palette from Deets Place. This is my favorite Deets Place palette. I have several, and I've decluttered a few that I wasn't using, and I have another one I'm about to declutter. But this is what the Tribe palette looks like. This is gorgeous. I love using greens. Greens are probably some of my favorite eyeshadows. As you guys will see, I have quite a few more green palettes in here. Green palettes definitely are some of my favorite looks, and when you have that orange in there, I do have like an orange and yellow eye look today. I did film this. I don't know if it's up already, but I seriously love this palette, and this retails for I think about $15, but you can get Deets Place on sale fairly regularly with as low as like, I think I've seen these go as low as like $10 or $12, which is amazing. These pan sizes, I'm going to show you compared to, I'll show you just compared to like, this is a larger palette, but just compared to like this other Too Faced palette. Can you guys see the difference? Yeah, like they're huge. There's a huge difference. So that is number 2. And then I'm going to go to another semi-affordable. This is an indie brand. This is Kaleidos Cosmetics, and this is another green palette. This is the Futurism one Sci-Fi Green. Let me see if I can cover the mirror. So this has more of those grungy green shades in there with the hint of the warmerness there. So these are definitely warmer green tones, but they are super pretty. I love this palette. I've used this several times. This is one of my favorites. I bought this in a bundle, and I actually have another 2 of these palettes in my top 10. And I was able to buy a bundle of 5 of the Futurism palettes for I think around $100, which breaks down each palette to be like, what is that, $20? So I think that's pretty affordable. So that is my number 3 palette. So I'm going to swatch this like green shimmer for you guys. I don't know, my lights are kind of messing this up a bit. But that is that light green, or that green shimmer. And so this is absolutely gorgeous. I've done a look with this. I'll post an image of the looks that I've done with this one. I actually think I have looks with most of these palettes that I have posted. So for the ones I have posted or have looks photographed, I will post the looks with that. And the next one I did decide to keep is from Too Faced. This is the Sweet Peach palette. This is an older palette, and I debated on if I really wanted this in my top 10, but I really like this palette. This is one of my favorites in this like tin packaging that like the chocolate bar palettes come in. So this is what this one looks like, and I just love these like pinky shades and like the warm goodness in here. So I really enjoy this palette. I'm gonna swatch for you guys some of the shades in here. Again, they're not showing up super well, but on the eyes, these are gorgeous. I really am into like that middle shade in particular is like a really yummy duochrome. And I actually have another palette that I like the duochrome in it better, but I like this palette better overall because in that palette I really just like that shade. But this is still available. I know it is a little old and I don't think it gets talked about that often, but it is probably one of my favorites, or definitely in my top 10, and I've held on to it for several years through a couple declutters. So that is my number, is that 4? 4 palette. I don't think I have any looks up of that palette. The next one we'll go with Marc Jacobs. This is the 214 The Night Owl, and I actually keep this palette for one shade. Gold right here, I'm absolutely in love with this. I have bought so many singles trying to find a shade that is as gorgeous as this is, and I cannot find it. But it is like this yummy greenish gold. I don't even know how to describe it. The pictures are not doing it justice, but the camera is not doing it justice. But it is absolutely gorgeous. I love that shade so much, and that I have kept this palette, and I've tried to take that shade out just to keep it, but it's really difficult to get it out of this. If I can ever get that in a single, I will definitely buy it, and I will continue to hunt for another brand that has a shade similar to it, but that is going to be my number 5 palette. So moving on to one of my newer palettes, this is the Menagerie Killer Purr palette. I am wearing this palette today. I've done a couple looks with it now. I don't know if my review / demo is up yet, but this is what this palette looks like. I don't know if it's just because this palette is so new to me and I really like this color story, that's why it's in my top 10. It would probably, I don't know, I really like this palette. I've liked every look. These mattes perform amazing. The shimmers are not my favorite in here, but using my finger today was pretty nice. With this top shade, I was able to make that look pretty good. I will say the blue in here definitely does do some staining. I've had my eyes stained for about a day after I wore the blue. But all in all, I love this palette. I like the color story here. It's like a warm... Sorry, my dog's barking. So like I was saying, it has like that bit of a warmer color story with the greens, and the blue even has a bit of a warm toneness to it. But it's really nice, and the two, well I guess the 3 browns I think are really unique because 2 of them I feel like pull a little bit more cool toned. And I really like tying that in with the blue and the green especially, just to make some unique looks. And then this top yellow shade, I don't have anything in my collection like that, and I love it. I've used it in both looks that I've filmed with this, so that is going to be in my top 10 as well. And then I want to get another Futurism palette. So this is the Kaleidos Futurism for the VR Neon, and so I'll show you what this one looks like. And so I have filmed a look with this. I've only used this palette once, but I wanted to go ahead and include it just because if I was only able to have 10 palettes, I would want something colorful like this that I could pull in. So that's why this one made the list. Otherwise, I don't know that it would have. I wanted to make sure I had something colorful enough for this. So that is why this palette made it in my list. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have made my top 10, but because I wanted the color for this video, I am going to keep that one in my top 10 as well. And then another Natasha Nonna product. This is the mini, is this the mini gold? I have issues. I love the gold apparently. So this is what this palette looks like. I love this palette. It's perfect for traveling. And the thing is, I don't think this is like the gold palette in several ways. This has more green, grungy colors in it. It does have the gold, but instead of having the blues in there, this pulls green. So there's no duplication, but this is really nice for traveling, and I really enjoyed this palette. I have filmed a review of this and a demo on my channel, but yeah, I love this little mini. I think it's great. It's 25 bucks. I think it's a great way to try out the Natasha Nonna formula. So the next, this is kind of a basic palette. Again, that if these were the only 10 that I could have, I want to be able to have a palette like this. This is the Tarte in Bloom, and this has a lot of those like cool tone neutral shades. So it's not like super exciting unless you really like these shades, which I really do like neutral and colorful looks. And so I really do enjoy this palette, and I think this is a good one to have in your collection. Just if you needed a good basic everyday palette, this is definitely that. And so that is why I included this. This has been out again for a few years. You can fairly often find this on sale, at least like once a year for like half off, so I wouldn't buy it at full price again. But I do really like this, and I am happy I have it. And so my number 10 palette, so the last one, is from Kaleidos. Again, this is the Futurism 5, and this is the Electro Turquoise. And so this is what this palette looks like. And again, I wanted to make sure I had enough of those blue tones. I really like this formula. I do have a look with this. I took this to LA, and I actually used this palette when I went to Sephora in September. So I am loving this. I'm happy I have this, and I think these shades are absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you these blues. So that is the matte blue, and that's the shimmer. And so I just feel like what I can do with these looks with the other palettes that I have, I really just think these are like more of the staple items that I would want and need in my collection if I could only have 10. Luckily, filming this, I don't have to just have these 10. I can have a lot more. There were some of these palettes, I mean, I wouldn't say these are my favorite palettes or my top 10 favorite palettes, but I will say, because I have some other palettes that I would maybe prefer a little bit more than these, but if I could only have 10, I want to narrow it down to make sure I can like have a wide range of looks. And so that includes pulling in more of those neutral type palettes so I can have that. But that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you, Annette, for giving me this idea, and I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe already. And please go check out Annette's channel. Annette, I met her in LA when we were at Sephora, and we message back and forth a couple times a week now, and she's been super helpful and encouraging in starting my channel and as I progress, and so I'm super thankful for her. I will link her video down below, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks. Bye!